Hi everyone, this is Emmy. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this very easy pebble stitch top. And you can make it any length, long or short. And it's made by working two sections like this. You're going to make two identical sections. And then you're going to sew them together at the shoulders, leaving enough opening for the head, and then down the two side seams. So let's get started. This sweater is worked top down, so you're going to start out with a foundation chain across the top, and it should be the length that would reach from underarm to underarm. If you're making it longer and your hips are larger than your chest, then the measurement should be across your hips from one side to the other side. So whichever is the largest, your hips or your chest. So you start out with a foundation chain. We're going to work one row of single crochet, one row of triple crochet, and then in this color, I've worked 2 rows of single crochet. And then for the body, it's 4 rows of pebble stitch, 4 rows of single crochet, 4 rows of pebble stitch, 4 rows of single crochet. Of course, if you wanted to, you could work the entire top with just pebble stitch or just single crochet. And when your work is long enough, I worked 1 row of slip stitch all the way across the bottom, and that is going to keep it from stretching out. So let's get started. I'm going to work with a worsted weight yarn and a 6.5mm crochet hook. Start with a slip knot and work a foundation chain that is as long as the widest part of your body from one side to the other. So that will be either across your chest or across your hips. When you have your foundation chain the correct length, single crochet in the second stitch from the hook, and each stitch all the way across the row. Single crochet. All the way across. Okay, I worked across the row, working a single crochet in each stitch. And that is this row, like that. And now this next row is going to be a row of triple crochet. So I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is going to count as a triple crochet and a chain 1. Turn the work. That chain 4 takes the place of the first stitch. So I'm going to skip this stitch and I'm going to work a triple crochet in this next stitch. So yarn around the hook 2 times to work a triple crochet. Insert into the stitch and pick up the yarn and pull it through. Pick up the yarn, pull it through 2. Pick up the yarn, pull it through 2. Pick up the yarn, pull it through 2. And that will be your first 2 triple crochet. Now chain 1. Skip the next stitch, triple crochet in the next. Chain 1. Skip, triple crochet. Like that, and you're going to repeat all the way across the row. Okay, I worked across the row, and that is the top band. So now I'm going to work 2 rows of single crochet in the same color, and then I'm going to work 4 rows of pebble stitch, and then 4 rows in the same color in single crochet. So chain 1 and turn, and that chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so I'm going to single crochet in the very first stitch, and then single crochet in the chain 1 space, single crochet in the triple crochet, single crochet in the chain one space. And you're going to repeat that across the row. Single crochet in the triple crochet, single crochet in the chain one space, all the way across the row. Okay, I worked across the row. When you get to the end of the row, I've single crocheted in the chain one space, and now I'm going to do my last single crochet in the third stitch from the bottom, which is the top of the triple crochet. And that's how that looks. And for the next row, I'm going to chain one and turn. Chain one does not count as a stitch. Single crochet in the first single crochet, and in each of the stitches all the way across the row. All the way across the row. Okay, I worked all the way across the row, and that's the top part of the sweater. So now I'm going to change to this cream color. You could make your sweater all in the same color. So I'm going to switch to this ivory color. And to do that, I'm simply going to pull my new color in, and then I'll take one stitch just to lock that in. And that will not count as a stitch, so I'm going to single crochet in that very first stitch. And then I'm going to double crochet in the next stitch. And that is the pebble stitch, alternating single and a double. So single crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next, single crochet, double crochet. Like that, all the way across the row. So I'm working across the row. Now in this row only, I want to decrease by one stitch in this row only. So I'm just going to, at some point here before I finish to the end, I want to reduce by one stitch. So I'm going to do that now in this next single crochet. And to do that, I'm going to pull up a loop, go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then I'm just going to complete my single crochet, and then double crochet in the next stitch, and then single crochet, and I'm going to end the row with a double crochet. Like that. And so the row began with a single crochet and end with a double crochet. So now I'm going to chain one and turn. That does not count as a stitch. I'm going to work a single crochet in the top of that double crochet. And now I'm going to work a double crochet in the single crochet. And a single crochet in that double crochet. And a double crochet in the single crochet. And I'm going to repeat that all the way across the row. Okay, I worked across the row. I started with a single crochet. I ended with a double crochet in the last stitch. So chain one and turn. Does not count as a stitch. Single crochet in that first double crochet. Double crochet in the single crochet. Single crochet in the double crochet. Double crochet in the single crochet. Like that, all the way across the row. Okay, I worked across the row, started with a single, ended with a double. Chain one and turn. Does not count as a stitch. Single crochet in that first double crochet. Double crochet in the next single. Single crochet in the next double. Double crochet in the next single. and I'm going to work all the way across the row. Okay, I worked all the way across the row, and that's how that looks. So now I have done 4 rows of single crochet in my tan color. And for this section that is going to be the armholes, you will have to fasten off your yarn. For the remainder of the body, you can just carry your yarn ends along the outside and then enclose them in the seam when you're sewing the side seams up. So to change color, again, I'm just going to pull my yarn in through that stitch, and then I'm going to chain 1, and that will not count as a stitch. I'm going to single crochet in that first stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and single crochet in each of the stitches all the way across the row. Like that, all the way across the row. Okay, I worked all the way across the row. At the end of the row, chain 1 and turn. Does not count as a stitch. Single crochet in that very first stitch, and in each of the stitches all the way across the row. And I'm going to repeat this for 2 more rows after this, which will be a total of 4. Okay, so that's how that looks. So we're just going to continue 2 more rows in that tan color, and then start repeating over and over. 4 rows of pebble stitch, 4 rows of single crochet, 4 pebble stitch, 4 single crochet. Now when you've worked all the way down and you've decided that that's as long as you want to have your sweater, you're going to work 1 row of slip stitches all the way across the bottom. And that's so it will keep it from stretching out on the bottom. And this is how you work a slip stitch. You insert the hook into the stitch and you just pull it right through. So insert the hook into the stitch, pick up the yarn and pull it right through the stitch and the one that's on the hook. Like that. And that gives us a nice tight edge so that it won't stretch out along the bottom.